An extra $1 million in 10 years. In this educational episode, I'm going to address the question, how to invest for retirement at age 60. Is it too late? Nope. But you have to do some very specific dynamic things so that you won't outlive your money when you're starting that late. Hi, I'm Doug Andrew, and I've been a financial strategist, retirement planning specialist for north of 46 years. And so I've taught over 85,000 hours in front of audiences of at least 50 people, up to 20,000 in the ballroom of a hotel or at a convention. And many times when I am teaching concepts about asset optimization, tax minimization, and getting ready to retire and not outlive your money, people will ask, golly, well, how can I invest for retirement if I'm already age 60? I'm on the verge of retiring in maybe 5 years or 10 years. Isn't it too late? And I go, no. This is what you need to do now that you've been around the block, so to speak, because frankly, this is where I spent most of my career helping people that were already 55, 65, 75, even 80 years old, optimize their assets, do better than what they had done. And they had been around the block. And I like those people because they actually are usually humble. They admit that they made some mistakes. And if I have younger people, they have less money. And when the first straw in the windstorm comes, they go, I don't want to sell my jet skis. I don't want to sell my boat. No, I don't want to sacrifice that kind of stuff. And so it took them sometimes 20 or 30 years to realize, you have to be pretty serious and disciplined. So I spent most of my time, if I were a physician, let's say, curing the dis-ease. See, when you're not at ease physically, okay, at a cellular level, when we're not at ease, it's called disease, dis-ease. Well, many people that came to my educational events were trying to make up for mistakes they had made or lost time preparing for retirement. So I had to cure them not being at ease financially. I had to cure that dis-ease. And so when they would say, golly, is it too late for me? I'm already age 60. Nope. But if I ask them, when do you want to retire? And they go, oh, I think I have the health that I want to work at least 10 more years. Okay. I know if I have 10 years and I look at their situation, it's not like they're broke. There were a few that somehow lost it all in a bankruptcy or whatever, but most people had some assets. But I showed them how they could have an extra million in 10 short years or less. And that extra million could generate $100,000 a year of tax-free income into perpetuity, whereas $1 million in a traditional IRA or 401k invested in the market, unfortunately only generates about $40,000 a year of income, and it's not tax-free. Net after tax, they're lucky to net about $26,000 out of the $40,000 because they had to pay tax, other $13,000 between federal and state income tax. And so I did this a lot. Now here's what I would do to help them understand this. In fact, my third book, Last Chance Millionaire, actually has 4 examples in it of couples who started at age 55, age 60, even age 65. And in 10 short years, I showed them how to have an extra $1 million. So you can read that in the book. But let me give you the highlights of what I taught people in that book and what I also taught to many of them that came to my educational live events. So let me tell you a story of one couple that had a home that they had raised their 6 children in, and they had bought that home for, I think, $250,000 when they first purchased it. And now it was worth about $1 million. And so I go, well, there's one asset that you're underutilizing. Do you want to stay in that 6,500 square foot home the rest of your life? Where you go, honey, 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 and it echoes because it's such a big house. Now, if they want that for some reason, or this is where the kids and grandkids come, great. I understand that because I still am in my home where we raised our 6 children. But many times they'd say, you know what, we want to downsize. I said, okay, if you did that, you could sell this home for $1 million. What are you going to do with that? Well, we'll take $500,000 and buy a retirement home down in southern Utah for the wintertime. And in the summertime, we like to live in northern Utah because we like the temperatures there better. And so we were going to pay cash for a retirement home, $500,000 in each place. I go, let me show you a different way. If I were you, I would not pay cash. You can pay 20% down payment. So you use $200,000 of that million, and you keep the other $800,000, and you keep it out of the property. And you mortgage those two. What? We didn't work our whole life to have a mortgage. I'm going, no, this is how money works. When you put money in a bank, you're lending your money to a bank. Why are they borrowing your money? Because they're going to earn more than they pay you to borrow your money. If you were to finance those 2 retirement homes, $400,000, 80% loan to value, and you financed that at 4.5% interest, it's tax deductible because it's a primary and a secondary residence, okay? You have to make sure the tax laws at the time allow you to deduct that. But if you borrow at 4.5%, and if it's deductible, it doesn't cost you 4.5%, it costs you 3%. And I show them that the $800,000 that goes over into a max-funded indexed universal life insurance contract historically has earned 8% in the worst of times, but in the average last 25 years or so, it's been 11% netting 10% by using indexing and rebalancing. And I teach this in my various books. And so you earn 10. Well, how much more is 10 than 3, the net cost on the mortgage? Or even if you only earned 8, how much better is 8 than 3? Or if you earned 9 and your costs were 3, how much more is 9 than 3? That's 300% more. You're making $90,000 the very first year, and you only paid $30,000. You're your own banker, so to speak. They go, whoa. So let's just compound this over here for a few years, and it gets better and better. And in about 10 years, they would see the money inside the insurance contract, the $800,000 that was going to be lazy, idle equity in their new homes, doing nothing but providing a shelter over their head. That allowed them to accumulate. In 10 years, it conservatively increased in value from $800,000 to $2 million. That $2 million now generates $200,000 a year of tax-free cash flow inside their insurance contracts. They have $200,000 tax-free, and they have their mortgages, but the mortgages on $800,000 of combined mortgages on the 2 retirement homes only uses maybe 25% of the income that comes off of that $200,000. So it's maybe only $50,000 net after tax. They are making an extra $150,000. I'm just bringing up approximate numbers here. I've done this many, many times. See, they were underutilizing one of their greatest assets, their own home. Now, that's just real estate. Many times they had their money in the market in yet to be taxed IRAs and 401ks. And I said, you got to get it out of the market. See, Wall Street was designed to help your money grow, but most people only earn an average of 3.5% because they're buying and selling at the wrong times. When the market starts to go down, they sell, and then they wait till it comes way up before they buy. And so Dalbar, who measures actual investor behavior, says the average retiree who has their money in the market only averages about 3.49%. This is what precipitated the 4% rule in the financial services industry. If you're only earning 3.5%, the brokerage firms only want you to withdraw 4%, which is more than you're earning, but it won't run out until you probably have passed away. So they base it upon your LE, life expectancy. That's called the 4% rule. Hello? I want to earn 8% or 10%, not 4%. So many people would reposition money in IRAs and 401ks to get out of the market, because the market is not designed for income, it's designed for growth. If you ever ask a broker, when is the best time to get your money out of the market, they will always answer, never. See, they weren't designed to give you predictable income in retirement. Maximum funded life insurance contracts were. And so I can have double, triple the income. It's tax-free. Do a strategic rollout out of those IRAs or 401ks over a 5-year period. Look at your real estate portfolio. Look at underperforming assets, money in CDs, in banks, where they are paying you a measly 1-2% interest. Increase the safety by 6 notches higher, where they put your money and earn higher rates of return. They pay you 1 or 2% and they make 5 or 6 by putting it into the same insurance companies where I put my money. So you want to bypass the middleman. By repositioning all kinds of underperforming assets, I have helped many, many 60-year-olds in 10 short years accumulate an extra $1 million or even $2 million that generates a 10% payout that knocks the socks off of where they had that money trapped before we did that analysis. So what does this mean for you? So if you don't have any existing assets, sometimes people have been wiped out for some reason out of something totally out of their control. If you're age 60 and you want to retire at age 70 or maybe 75, you need to seriously look at setting aside 20, 30%, maybe 50% of your income. So live on less than what you earn and start socking it away, because if you can set aside 20, 30, 50,000 a year or 100,000 a year, oh yeah, you can accumulate an extra $1.5 million, $2 million in 10 short years if you set aside that kind of money. If you don't have the ability to do that, you need to reposition any assets you do have, as I've just explained. But the key is you've got to get serious, because you've got a short window of time, but it's never too late. The key to longevity is making yourself necessary. So make sure you stay in motion and have the health and the ability. You don't just hunker down in a survival mode or mindset. And as you stay healthy, you'll be able to earn money in all kinds of ways. I've helped people redefine themselves in retirement, and they enjoy fishing. So they started teaching people how to fly fish, or they started showing people how to go out and 4-wheel drive or rebuild a hot rod or something, and they actually earned as much or more money in retirement. And so they didn't need money out of their retirement savings until age 70 or 75. You need to analyze what is it that you can do that people will compensate you for while you're socking away money and repositioning assets to optimize them. I would recommend that you put your serious cash into what I call the Laser Fund. LASER is an acronym that stands for Liquid Assets, Safely Earning Returns. This is a max-funded indexed universal life insurance contract that allows you to accumulate, access, and transfer your money tax-free. This is where I have averaged 11% netting 10%. Many years I've had more than 11% returns, as high as 25%, with multipliers as high as 55%. Other years when the market loses, I don't lose. I may not make anything that year, but average returns of 10% will allow you for every million to generate $100,000 a year of tax-free income for as long as you live. Does that sound good? You can do this. I want to gift you a copy of this book. It retails for $20. I'll pay for the book. You go to laserfund.com and you can claim 1 free copy. I'll pay for the book. You pay $5.95 shipping and handling, and I'll send one out to you. And you can learn. There's also audio and video versions of this education. But this is critical to empower you so that in the short time frame you have left, you can retire in dignity and not outlive your money and have the freedom you deserve to go out and do the things you love doing and not have to worry about where you're going to get the next dollar.